G'day, it's Wilhelm here from the 4Sight OT cluster. And so the guest today with me is Matt, Jaco, and Willem. Yeah, and so we thought with COVID, we're working all more remote right now. We need to share some ideas and it's basically pushed us to work more remote. And we understand that accelerated this digital transformation and it's not going to go away. Actually, just going to carry on basically, being there. But yeah, so let's just hear a little bit about, a bit more about from Matt. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi Willem, hello Jaco, hello Willem. Matt van Wyk, I've a little bit of background. I've spent 21 years in Anglo and De Beers in operations, projects, and in business restructuring, followed up by about 10 years in the consulting world, looking especially at operational excellence and things. And for the last 2 years, I've been the Senior Vice President of Operations and Advisory at Minopex, just where I fit into this conversation as well today. We're working very closely obviously with 4Sight, but I'm also Jaco's my main client at Letseng, because we operate and maintain the plants at Letseng Diamond Mine for Gem. That's it in a nutshell.
Jaco, and yourself, just a quick introductory about yourself and career and...
Morning, everyone. Thanks, Willem, for inviting me. My technical and managerial career spans more than 23 years. I've worked in a diverse background in multi-commodities, spanning operational excellence, design, production, technical support. Also spent some time in the tech field, and also a little bit of time in consulting as well. And my particular interest in this particular conversation is how do we take these tools and make it useful in our business. And our business is Gem Diamonds. We are the majority shareholder of the Letseng operation in Lesotho. And my role in that is to provide the technical and project lead and guidance to the group.
That's very interesting and very related to what we're talking about. And yeah, so 4Sight OT is basically a digital transformation company focusing on simulation and automation and optimization. Willem is from our simulation business, our division. So Willem, just a quick introductory about yourself.
Willem Darling, I've got about 7 years of experience, so not as much as the rest of the team here. But yeah, I'm very interested in digital twins and how we can use it in the mining environment.
Great, thanks, Willem. So we basically work in multiple commodities, so platinum, ferrochrome, and diamond. So we provide lots of solutions to clients the whole time, and constantly working with them on finding solutions for digital transformation. But let's hear from Gem Diamonds. Jaco, tell us a bit about the bottlenecks that you experience potentially in your mining and processing plants on the sites.
So Willem, we've got an interesting operation, and when we took over the operation, sort of 2006, Gem Diamonds started with what was a fairly small outfit. Our plants at the time was rated about 300 to 350 tons an hour, or the plant. And subsequent to that, the operation grew. We added a second plant, and as things go over time, one always wants to get more with the capital that you've invested. Currently, we're sitting with an installed base of about 850 tons an hour across the two plants that we've got. And we've recently gone through a process, like a turnaround initiative, where we looked at how do we increase productivity and overall utilization of the asset base. And through that process, although you've invested capital into the process, you never quite get exactly what sort of the spreadsheet indicated at that point in time. And we embarked on this process to understand, where do these bottlenecks lie? Why don't we get exactly what we predicted? And invariably what happens through that process is that you think that you've got a bottleneck in a particular area. You sort of deconstrain the process and the bottleneck just shifts to a different area. And that's been our challenge up to now, is that with these moving and shifting bottlenecks, as we move into different phases in the mining area, as different parameters change in mining, whether it be fragmentation or different ore types, the plant shows up differently in terms of its behavior. And all of these things, effectively create a constraint in terms of your overall delivery. And that's been our experience up to now. So we are looking for a tool, a method statement that will help us to sort of deconstrain not just the plant, but the total value chain, so that we can improve overall delivery.
So continuous growth, yeah. So it's very interesting because you're constantly pushing the boundaries, and the bottlenecks is also moving the whole time. And so so let's have another bit. So Matt, you guys, DRA and Minopex, 2,000 people building new sites and 2,000 people roughly basically maintaining these sites, and you are providing solutions to customers like Yaku in solving these challenges. So how do you approach it?
So thanks. So obviously the first thing is proper design and equipment selection and everything to ensure that the plant's at least got the capability of what you want to do. But as soon as you start operating any plant, things don't quite work out the way you've planned it, because all conditions change, fragmentation change, all of these type of things. And just from my lean background, I'm a big proponent of fast continuous flow. And in an environment of fast continuous flow, what destroys value are the wasteful elements, whether it be through constraints or bottlenecks or equipment reliability and things. So our idea around these is to ensure that we've got a full value stream view on whatever we deal with, and we actually understand how the various components work, and where these instances of wastes are that we actually need to then eliminate. We've seen in the past that fast continuous flow, or if you can get to a position where you actually get to, let's call it stable operations, can make as much as a 30% difference in your total throughput. And throughput, I'm talking quality throughput. So a lot of our efforts are in visualizing the supply chain to identify those issues that stop the fast continuous flow, and then try to solve them one by one.
No, that's great. Yeah, and I think myself and Matt are doing lots of coffee sessions and lots of strategy right now on how do we provide value, because out there the view is that about 70% of the mining operations is not at the level of efficiency and productivity that they would want to be. And so we basically, we're truly trying to solve that and work on solutions with that. So Willem, we focus a lot when we say, listen, people and data is the most valuable commodity that a customer has or that an organization have, and we bring technology to the data to give the people superhuman powers to solve these challenges. So tell us a little bit about, how does the simulation division of 4Sight OT solve this or bring value to this challenge?
I think it's always a difficult one, because there's data and there's people. How do you really bring those two together? And what our approach is typically, if you can build it into a simulation model, you've got a platform to make decisions from, and a unbiased platform. So it's no longer a opinionated discussion, but something that's informed by the data. And now it's easy to say it's informed by the data, but the data isn't always right. So there's a lot of people aspects there just to get the right info and to really source the right version of the truth, which is something that's an eternal struggle. But once you get there, we've seen it, really felt it, that it really enables the clients to make decisions based on that, and gives them a platform to identify those bottlenecks and focus on the next one. So when the next one's going to, it's not a surprise, or at least we're trying to get there, trying to characterize those facies that Yaku was speaking about, how it changes every time. Every facie, every ore type really changes the way the plant behaves, and it's not really something that you can 100% predict beforehand, but we can at least try to and really push the boundaries of what the plant can do through a simple technology, really.
Great, thanks, Willem. And so these are really self-funding initiatives that we're basically doing for many mining companies locally and globally. Matt, you had the vision to engage with us, and you're constantly working with us, and that first sprint brought some great value to Gem Diamonds already. And so, yeah, what is your recommendation going forward, and what is the journey that you see we still going on with Gem and also with other clients?
Yes, well, Alan, I mean, just how long is a string? I suppose the one thing that we do have, it's in a site like let's say, is, I mean, apart from just a very supportive client and Jaco and them really taking a partnership view and a collaborative view on what we do, we're in a lucky position to have clean data, and I suppose the willingness to try something new. And the more we understand how we can use data to make data-rich conversations or data-centric management decisions around the plant, the more we realize that the next steps is actually a logical progression of a journey towards an end state, I suppose, where you've got a digital twin of a plant, where you can almost predictively say this is what's going to happen over the next shift or two, or everything, and or apart from just being able to save the shift in the shift. So I'll give you a very good example at the moment. So we've done the analysis. We understand where the bottlenecks are. We're busy hard coding changes to the PLCs to change the operating philosophy. But now we realize that to do that effectively, I need about 20 people sitting there the whole time to really dial in the changes that we see coming from site frequency distribution and things. So the next logical step is to get a little bit more insight into, for instance, my particle size distributions, and start deploying some solutions to help me accelerate the ability to work within the process, i.e. something like, firstly, a very simple advanced process control situation, and then later on we can go a full, most probably advanced process control for the entire plant to get the operating philosophy the way we want it. I mean, as soon as we do that, we'll start realizing that there's equipment that stops me from operating the way that I want to do, and then we'll probably have to go to some advanced predictive maintenance toolkits, because again, the speed of change becomes so quickly that I think your artisans and your foremen can't just keep up with the pressures that the process will put on them to react the whole time and be proactive in the way that we manage the plant towards, like I said, eventually, most probably 2 or 3 years from now, a digital twin scenario where we can really become proactive in the way that we execute it, that we plan, and that we bring value to our client.
Thanks, and it's so true, basically. So it's now one hammer that can solve all the problems. It's multiple initiatives. It's these agile sprints that you refer to, like of knowledgeable people that's basically doing simulation or advanced process control, or maybe some predictive maintenance. And so it just basically, it continuously rolling out. And so, you know, Willem, we've done the first sprint of simulation. We unleashed some millions of value. I don't know if we can say how much, and you're busy with the second. You know, on the journey, you know, very similar to what Matt said, we also slowly but surely also linking live data, you know, to form or to create a digital twin of the mine. But Joel, what's your recommendations going forward? You've now, you know, done the first simulation, going into the second. Any recommendations from your side?
Well, I'm glad it's called the journey, because it's not something that's a quick bash and then everything's fixed. I think nothing in life is that easy. But the thing is, for me, is really data isn't automatic. You need to think of the places where you gather data. You need to think about the calibration of those weightometers, because if they're out, the whole thing is out. It's not a you've installed the things, everything's just working. It is a bit of a continuous work and effort really to get there. But honestly, the operation has been, the data has been good, the support's been great. It's a typical site that's a very good candidate for a digital twin and going along with this journey.
Thanks, Willem. And Jaco, so you're on the receiving end of this, and you know, we always say that we need a visionary leader on site that is open to digital transformation to be successful. So yeah, can you give us a bit of a view of what's working, and also your recommendations going forward on, you know, how should other mining companies, you know, be doing or looking at this?
Well, I've always been a big proponent of using data, so one can make, as the guys referred to, these unbiased decisions. And I think what this has given us is an opportunity where we understood where the data gaps were. So we could actually put systems in place to close those particular data gaps. But at the same time, I think it created a bit of synergy. So people had a same view. It was what was happening on the operation, and people could make sense. And then when certain results were demonstrated to the team, although some of the team members may not have had the technical insight, on the operational front, guys could certainly resonate with what was happening, with the data, with the results, and the operational aspects. So I think for me, that was a great opportunity through this process, was just to pull the team together and we all work towards that same goal. For me, the next step really is to say that, it doesn't help just taking a view around a particular node in your business or in your process. It's got to be a full system view. So the value chain approach is the important aspect. And I think Willem spoke about it. How do we expand this? How do we go onto this further onto this journey? It's about dealing with all aspects of our business, building a proper value driver tree in our business, a value stream view, so that one can test these different hypotheses of what's happening in your business. One can use that as a very quick tool to say, if we tweak this a little bit, or if we adjust that, what is the end result? What is the game? How does the game change for us? So that's the benefit that I see in terms of this. And I think 4Sight have really brought the tools and I guess the rest of the industry experience, and Minopex have brought really the technical expertise to the table, and also the thinking and support. And what we ended up with is a collaborative approach of how do we improve our overall business by working together and utilizing these tools and skills that we've got available.
Thanks, Jaco. No, that was a great summation, and thanks for the comments. And yeah, like I said, amazing, bringing value to data, bringing the team with it as well in the change management, and then also working with various specialists, specialists in operations, specialists in basically using some of these digital transformation tools brings the value. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to have a quick coffee chat with us. And my coffee's finished right now, but yeah, Matt, thank you very much. Jaco, really appreciate the time. Willem, thank you for your contributions as well.